colossal matchups today. And I've spoke on this. I've been speaking on this ever since August. And I pointed to October the 15th, Michigan, Penn State. This is going to be a showdown right here. And I really feel the winner of this game, the only road that's left is Ohio State. NC State, Syracuse. The once beaten Wolfpack go into the Carrier Dome to take on the Orangemen from Syracuse. Are Syracuse for real? Will NC State vindicate itself? NC State is a must win for them. Oklahoma State, TCU. Battle of the unbeatens. I really feel that this is one of the first of two matchups this year to decide the Big 12. Oklahoma State going into Fort Worth, take on the Horned Frogs. Mississippi State, UK. Listen, this is a match for respect. Both programs, listen, they need this game. UK needs this game. Mississippi State definitely needs this game to remain undefeated. Arkansas's BYU. Hey, BYU's headed to the Big 12. This is a matter of respect. They already have one loss. Arkansas is hanging on by a thread. The program, they need this game. This is the one that I'm really looking forward to. USC, are they for real? All right. This game right here definitely leads to the Rose Bowl, maybe even the playoffs. And the main event, the Tide versus the VOLS. I pointed to this back in August. I pointed to this game. I said, this may be the game. This may be the game right here. Listen, all roads start in all Power 5 conferences. All Power 5 conferences. There is a matchup in each conference that will decide the fate of the playoffs. Let me welcome in my two co-hosts here, Jason Big Dog Pablo Troutman and D Truth, also known as D Love. Salute to you, brothers. Salute to you, brothers. And let me do a big shout out to the chat here. Looney Tune Melodies, salute to you, sir. Chris Wignall, salute to you. Malaysia Delight TV, salute to you. King Young 1995, salute to you. And the entire Dog Nation, salute to you. The Facebook crowd is going to come on in here shortly. Salute, fellas. Salute, salute, salute. October the 15th. This is the day that we circled.
Yes, sir.
This is the day that we circled. October the 15th is here. It starts here shortly with Michigan and Penn State. Your thoughts?
October 15th, we'll just call this day we separating the men from the boys.
You're right about that. We're gonna see who got the juice. You know how they say, "Oh, who got the juice?" We're gonna find out today.
Yeah. In that matchup, I don't know. Penn State is a sleeper, but I like Michigan to win that. I'll give Penn State light years better than last year. Mm-hmm. And they have a coach that can coach in big games. So Michigan the edge, but I really feel like Penn State is really going to be competitive in this game.
I agree with you. I think they're going to be very competitive. Really don't think Michigan has been tested yet. Penn State went into Jordan Hare, and they handled their business. I mean,
but I ain't gonna count that. We're gonna find out what Penn State really made of.
Hold on. Let me finish. Although Auburn has been struggling, but Auburn is still Auburn. That's you're going into a hostile environment in the SEC. I had to see if it was in Happy Valley, but they went into Jordan Hare. They went into Jordan Hare in the late evening game, and they did what they did. I mean, this team is to be reckoned with here. But yeah, we're definitely gonna find out what Penn State is made of. I think they were battle tested in week 1 with Purdue, and they were definitely battle tested going into Jordan Hare and doing what they did to Auburn. But today, they can get over the hump. this was the game that actually kept them out of the 2016 playoffs. They lost to Michigan, they beat Ohio State, and they were left out of the playoffs, and they gave the nod to Ohio State instead. So in order for if Penn State can win this game, if they can get past this game, then all roads leads to the Penn State Ohio State matchup, which would definitely be the de facto Big Ten championship game, in my opinion. Okay, go ahead, Detroit. Wait.
Yeah, but like I said, Penn State is good, and I forgot who was starting quarterback, but it's going to be Michigan. Like I said, Michigan trying to prove that like about last year wasn't a fluke. You feel what I'm saying? So, so Penn State gonna have to play better. Gonna have to play better. Yeah, you played Auburn. Went to Jordan Hare 3:30. Okay, so what? You know what I'm saying? Auburn is not Michigan. Different breed animal now. And where they playing at? Michigan. Yeah, you gotta go to a big house. Let's see, can Penn State turn that corner?
We're definitely gonna find out.
When I say competitive, it's going to be a competitive game. It's going to come down to a field goal to either team. What we have to establish is State has played games after they played Auburn and they have not lost. We have to give credit where credit's due. These dudes are a tough out. They play competitive and they're with. But
you kind of breaking up a little bit.
Last year they had a drop off. Last year, they had a drop off. But you got to remember, a year removed, Tennessee. I mean, not Tennessee, but Penn State was in a good position in their conference for 2 seasons in a row. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be that's gonna be a good game. I think that may be the best game competitive wise of the day.
And it starts at 12 noon. It starts here shortly, a little under 30 minutes. I'm going to zoom through these matchups here. Want to salute in Rider Day Prophet and Money Boy Trade. Salute to you, brother. Salute. Roll Tide to you. We're going to get to that game here pretty shortly. A lot of these games with playoff implications, like I said, and I'm going to go ahead and add this to the screen here. There you see SoFi Stadium, the site, the home of the national championship game for 2023. While we're at it, I'm going to go ahead because this game starts at 12. We can go ahead and make our picks on this one. It's like this for me. Michigan looked a little shaky against Indiana last week. Michigan has not really been tested. Penn State has been tested. I'm gonna have to roll with the team that's been tested. I'm gonna have to roll with Penn State. It's something about them. It's something a little special. I know I've been riding the Michigan bandwagon, man, but listen, I got a chance to see Penn State firsthand. That ground game, they have a well-balanced attack, and that defense, I think that defense is good enough to slow down Michigan and make them one-dimensional. I think that secondary of Penn State has much improved. So I'm gonna roll with the Nittany Lions on this one.
Yeah, I gotta go with Michigan.
I know why you going with Michigan. Go ahead, tell me why you going.
No, they ain't matter. I looked at it. They played Auburn. Yeah, they beat the hell out of them. And I looked at the last two teams they played. They ain't played nobody. You see what I'm saying? They ain't played nobody and beat them.
I'm looking at the first couple of games. They went into Purdue and beat Purdue, which Purdue, we know now Purdue is no joke. All right. They're not a scrub anymore. That program is on the come up. And they went down in the South, in the deep South, in the Jordan Hare, and which was a revenge game, a game that Auburn had circled for over a year to avenge, and they did what they did to Auburn, and Auburn is no scrub either. Auburn has lost close games.
But what I was saying, what I was saying was, like I said earlier when about Michigan, they try to prove like last year in them ain't no fluke. And we know how Penn State is in these ball games. They would fold like they did last year. Till Penn State can prove to me they could win the big one and get, like you said, this game right here kept them out the playoffs.
In 2016, yes, it did.
So when Penn State proves it ain't like just like Michigan had to prove they could beat Ohio State, right? And they did and won the Big Ten, right? Last year. Penn State got to prove they could beat Michigan. They got to prove they can win the big one. And this is a big one for them right here. Until they do that, I got to go with Michigan.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Is a like I say, it's a toss up for me. It's gonna be a competitive game. In this game, being in the big house, I'm gonna give the edge to Michigan. I believe Michigan will pull this game out.
Okay. All right. So J. Cole and D Truth are rolling with Michigan. And I'm going with Penn State. It's just it's just something about that team. Listen, can nobody tell me what they did the first 2 weeks of the season was you just can't ignore it. And I can't ignore what they did. You know, Auburn is still Auburn. Even though they've struggled this year, Auburn is still Auburn. And to go into Jordan Hare and put a beat down on Auburn like that, I mean, to come from up north down into the South and do that, no other team has done that since USC did it in 2003. Okay, but we will see. We shall see. I'm gonna break for a quick commercial break, and we'll come back and do the other matchups.
Wayfield Foods, offering the freshest fruits and vegetables and a wide variety of fresh cut meats. Fresh foods cooked daily. Wayfield Foods, great quality at an affordable price.
Atlanta, it's back for a limited time. This Is It Barbecue and Seafood has brought back its 2 for $25 package. That's 2 dinners, 2 large drinks, and 2 desserts for $25. Choose from delicious entrees like rib tips, barbecue chicken, tilapia, barbecue ribs, and many more. And for dessert, banana pudding or strawberry shortcake. Dine in or carry out for just $25.
Atlanta, franchises now available. It's the Rib Tips.
Okay, I want to welcome in a couple of late viewers here. Esco, salute to you, brother. Salute to you. He's picking Michigan. No, he's picking Penn State in that game. Royal and Loyal, salute to you. Salute to you, Rada Day Prophet. So Alicia, salute everyone. Salute. Thank you for joining us this morning. Okay,
hey, we already know why Esco picking Penn State.
Apple Buckeye. Let's see what he has to say. Look, listen, I don't have a. Yeah, Apple is picking Penn State as well. So you know, y'all are picking
Ohio State. You already know. Go ahead, Jacob.
Yeah, ain't no respectable Ohio State fan. Ain't no respectable Ohio State fan picking Michigan. Okay, that's just like me picking Florida to win again.
Exactly. All right, now, you know, if Florida's playing someone that they're obviously going to beat, of course. Okay, now this matchup right here.
Oh, no.
Now listen. I think if I'm a Clemson fan, I'm rooting for NC State to win this game because Syracuse has been a thorn in Clemson's side. All right. And you do not want Syracuse to be undefeated going into it. If I'm a Clemson fan, you don't want, because the thing about it is, if you lose that game to Syracuse, you are out of the ACC championship game. So you need help today, and you need it fast. You need NC State to take care of business against Syracuse. And we're going to find out today is Syracuse for real. Fellas, what do you think about this?
Syracuse 5-0, NC State 5-1. Syracuse is think about it, Syracuse is a surprise team in the ACC right now, and you see they 5-0, but you really don't know what Syracuse capable of. Know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at NC State. We knew they were coming sooner or later because they were building on it. And hold on, let me look at the study in the ACC right quick. Look at the study of the ACC right quick. See who's where.
Well, Syracuse is tied with Clemson. They're tied with Clemson. They're both undefeated right now.
No, they lost. Syracuse tied with Clemson. Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Syracuse is tied with Clemson. NC State lost to Clemson. It was 2 weeks ago. The same, because I was watching, I was flipping back and forth, NC State to Clemson to Georgia, Missouri. I think this game is going to go 4 quarters. This game is going to go 4 quarters, and the thing about it is NC State, they have goal line issues. The passing game is not as efficient as it was last year. Syracuse has a defense. That defense is no joke. In order for NC State to win this game, they're going to jump on them early. And put them away early. If Syracuse hangs around in that 4th quarter, then the advantage goes to Syracuse. And add in the fact that it's in the Carrier Dome, and it gets loud in that place. It's like a mini Superdome. And you know how loud the Superdome gets. So, hey, listen, go ahead.
But if Syracuse win this game, next week it's gonna be a big matchup.
With who?
Syracuse and Clemson.
Exactly.
Ooh, boy. So the pressure's on. The pressure's on. Pressure on Syracuse. Go ahead, J. Cole.
In this game, come down to the line of scrimmage. I don't think Syracuse is going to be able to do what they've been doing against other teams to NC State. I think NC State is fundamentally sound, and I think that if NC State doesn't try to get in a shootout with Syracuse, I think NC State will dominate Syracuse. I don't know. Yeah, Syracuse, they'll success story, woody woo, but I don't know. I'm just really feeling like NC State can dominate them up front on both sides of the ball, and I think that's going to determine the game.
Okay, so you're going with NC State.
Yeah, I'm going with NC State.
Okay. The truth.
I got to stay with well, as I'm concerned, Syracuse still the underdog. I'm going with Syracuse.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with Syracuse on this one. I think Dino has been recruiting. He's been recruiting that New Jersey, that Eastern New Jersey area, which is a lot of talent has come out of that area. Remember, Mika Fitzpatrick came out of that area. He's not only has he recruited very well, he's developed these kids very well. I like what he's doing up there. I like the way he's building that program. I'm happy that they stuck with him. He had a rough time during the pandemic. Last year was pretty rough, but they gave him an extension, brought him back, and look, it takes time to build a program. And all of that patience with this brother is starting to pay off. I think today is the beginning of a paradigm shift in the ACC. I think Syracuse, and it starts with Syracuse taking care of business against NC State, setting up the epic matchup next Saturday. with Syracuse and Clemson, which we are going to definitely have on the headlines next Saturday.
And I got a question though.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he said Syracuse plays first, right? Syracuse win. And says Syracuse win.
Mm-hmm.
Clemson got to go down to Tallahassee, Florida State. The pressure is going to be built for that game, especially playing behind Syracuse.
Yeah, but Florida State is not who we thought they were. They have, I think Clemson's offense is tailor-made, and it's a terrible matchup for Florida State's defense. Florida State has issues in the secondary. Clemson has some great wideouts. DJU is coming into his own. He's playing like DJU from 2020 and not the 2021 version. So we'll see. I think Clemson will handle Florida State. Florida State has been hit with injuries. They've since that LSU game. I understand what you're saying, but they've been hit. They've been hit with injuries, kind of like what Auburn, Georgia, and Bama has been going through, being hit with injuries. So we'll see. We'll see. Now, the Big 12. You know what? I think this is going to be one of the first of two matchups. I think they'll see each other again on the first Saturday of December. I think these are the two best teams, hands down. They're, you have levels. And I think if you're talking about the upper echelon of the Big 12, this is it this year. This is it. Oklahoma I'm just be frank with it. They're trash this year. Kansas State, they're wishy-washy. Kansas, I don't think they're quite there yet. I like what the coach is doing there. I think Kansas State will be a major player later on in the season. Texas, they're growing up, but I don't think Texas is good enough. I don't think Texas squad is good enough to beat either of these two teams. I think this is your future, your 2022 Big 12 championship game. And I think this will be the first of two matchups. I'm going to start with you, Jason. What do you think about this one? Oklahoma State, TCU.
Well, we made a comment before that when certain teams are winning, it's better for college football.
Yes, sir.
TCU is one of those teams when they're winning, it's better for college football.
Absolutely.
TCU has a great program. This TCU has only been struggling these past 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So they've gotten it back together. I think they got a good coach in there. I watch them. They just physical. They are a physical presence, and they're physical on offense.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that. If Oklahoma State has OSU has to stay on schedule in this game.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that if TCU is able to score,
mm-hmm.
I think they're gonna beat Oklahoma State decisively, because they got 3 or 4 receivers on the field at a time that can burn you. If Oklahoma State stays on schedule, it's going to be a good game. But I think TCU has come back and has too much firepower for Oklahoma State. I think TCU is the best team in that conference. So I'm going to go with you.
Okay, Alpha Buck, I just said the further TCU gets away from Patterson, the weaker they're looking. Sir, you haven't been watching college football in 2022 to make that comment. This is the strongest TCU team that I've seen. And if I had to put them up against that 2014 team, I think this TCU team, what gives them the edge is that this TCU team's defense is a hell of a lot better than that 2014 defense. That 2014 defense, although they could put up 50 and 60 points on you, but they would give up 40 points. They were winning games like 63 to 45, 55 to 49. But this TCU team has a defense something that 2014 TCU team that almost made the playoffs, that should have made the playoffs, in my opinion, did not have. So I'm gonna roll. Salute to you, Nafar Rodman. Salute to you. I'm gonna let you make your pick first, D Truth, and then I'm gonna make mine.
Yeah, and I'm looking at this right here. Both of the defenses, Oklahoma State and TCU, both the defenses only giving up less than 25 points a game. But both the offense scores over 40-some points a game. And they allow the same amount of yardage too. You see what I'm saying? So I'm at this, like you said, Oklahoma State got to stay ahead of the chain, not behind the chain. And in that TCU, I gotta go with the home team. I gotta go with the Horned Frogs.
Okay, and going back to what you had said, Jason, TCU winning and the program coming back is great for college football. And I want to explain to everyone what he meant by that. TCU, Texas Christian University, is located in Fort Worth, Dallas, Texas area. Okay, so you bring that Dallas market in to college football. All right, you already have the Atlanta market, UGA. You already have the Miami, the Tampa, all of the Florida market. Then you have Syracuse bringing in the New York market, in the New Jersey market, and the Connecticut market. All right. Then you have both California teams right now that are standing there undefeated, USC and UCLA, bringing in that California market. This right here is shaping out to be one of the best seasons in college football that I remember. You got to go all the way back to 2007. We haven't had it's like, the old blue bloods are coming back. And look out for Nebraska. We were making jokes about Nebraska back in early September, but hey, they are quietly right now sitting in first place in the Big Ten West. And we're going to discuss them. We're going to discuss them on the post-game show later tonight, but we're going to stick with our picks here. Alpha Buckeyes picking Oklahoma State. Chris Wignall is going with TCU. Fellas, I'm going to have to agree with you on this one. TCU is strong. That defense is no joke. Look, the games like these are won in the trenches, and I think TCU is much better in the trenches. Oklahoma State's defense has taken a step back since the coordinator that they've had that has had that defense ranked in the top 5. He left and went to Ohio State. He's no longer there. So therefore, and I think, they're still recruiting on a high level as far as defensively. But TCU, listen, and I told everyone back 2 years ago when the NIL deal was first mentioned on the table, I said, listen, watch out for those teams that are in big market cities. All right, watch out for Texas A&M. They're close to Houston. And I also said, watch out for TCU. The TCU is in there. They're right there in the Dallas area, right there.
Yeah.
And man, if you're a TCU fan, listen, you are feeling great right now because your Horned Frogs are undefeated. In my opinion, I think they're on their way. They're on their way to probably their first Big 12 title in years.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys are looking very, very good this year.
Yeah, because speaking on that market, a lot of us get caught up into the ESPN Top 100. A lot of people don't realize that Dallas, the Texas area, the Georgia area, the Florida area, the California area, these schools do not have to go outside their state to build a winning program. It's monster talent that don't get recognized right there within a 200-mile radius of your school.
Absolutely. I want to say good morning to Aya Chubbs. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us here this morning. Yes, that Dallas market is huge. to have in college football, and it definitely is absolutely great for college football to have one of those Dallas market teams doing so well, and TCU, Oklahoma State, whichever one. Okay.
Yep.
A few issues here. Just trying to get to.
We all going TCU.
Okay. All right. Hold on here. StreamYard adding up a little bit here. Okay, now I think this game right here is a matter of respect. Mississippi State, Kentucky. Mississippi State has one loss. Kentucky has 2 SEC losses, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Listen, everyone has started calling you a football school now. Actually, your football team has been doing better than your basketball program lately. Don't mess it up, Kentucky. Don't mess it up. I think the program needs this game, D-Truth. And you know exactly what I mean when I'm referencing to. This would be huge for Mark Stoops if he can pull this off. If he can pull this off and defeat Mississippi State, which I think may be probably the second or the third best team in the West. We're looking at Kentucky totally different. And we're looking at Kentucky still maybe, just maybe, they could sneak in and be a major player in the East, because we don't know how this thing is going to play out.
Right. You're right about that.
Yeah. So although Mississippi State, they have a gauntlet coming up. They have Bama and Georgia in the second half of their schedule. I really do believe that they need this game. Both teams need this game. The program both programs need this game. Both programs.
Yeah, we're right about that. And I'm looking at the stats for the last few games Kentucky and Mississippi State been playing.
Mm-hmm.
Mississippi State is almost 39 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky averages over 26. Average 26, but I'm looking at the points allowed. Mississippi State is allowing 21 points, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Kentucky allows 16 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
That's a defense that Kentucky defense has been playing.
Mm-hmm.
Can Mississippi State get that offense rolling and get it over 30-some points? Or can Mississippi State play a ground and pound game, grinded out game, a dirty game to win the ball game? We yet to see that from them. Average that many points a game. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to go with Kentucky. I feel the upset coming.
Well, Kentucky, if you look at their pattern, they become more of a dangerous team in the second half. Usually in the first half of the season, they'll drop a game early, like to Louisville, or they'll drop an early game to, like, let's say Arkansas or someone like that. But in the second half of the season, for some reason, they become very dangerous and they ruin someone's season. They ruin someone's season. So they did it to Florida last year. So who's to say it could be Mississippi State this year? I just once again, it goes to the trenches. I'm looking at Mississippi State in the trenches. They are juggernaut in the trenches. That ground game, I just don't think that Kentucky defense is ready for what's coming their way. Then you factor in Will Rogers. I'm gonna put you on mute here real quick, Jason. And then you factor in Will Rogers, definitely, in my opinion, a first rounder. If he chooses to come out for the draft, he's definitely a first rounder. I'm gonna have to roll with Mississippi State. They're the more talented team, in my opinion. They are the more talented team.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the rushing yard. Neither one. Mississippi State running the ball. Yeah, they average rushing 106 yards to 92 to Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
But they both giving up over 130 yard rushing.
I mean that Mississippi State. I mean Mississippi State is going to give up those type of yards just based on the type of offense that they run. You know what I'm saying? What people are not identifying about Mississippi State? Mississippi State is playing better defensively this year. They're playing a whole lot better defensively. They got dudes up front. My thing about Kentucky is inconsistent. They don't have the weapons on offense that everybody thinks they have.
Absolutely, that concerns me.
Yeah, they have the quarterback Will Levis. I don't even know if he's playing because it was an injury thing about him.
Yeah, it's another thing that's concerning.
Yeah, so right now defensively, Kentucky can hang with Mississippi State, but if Mississippi State is running the ball like they have been in the past couple of games, I'm gonna be honest with you, Kentucky ain't got a chance. That's a potent offense that he has implemented a running game. They just because I just don't really feel like Kentucky can score with Mississippi State. That's the whole point. We know Mississippi State is going to score. The only way Kentucky can win this game if they're able to stop Mississippi State defensively, and I don't think they can do that because if Kentucky's quarterback isn't playing, it's just going to be 3 and out, and Mississippi State going to run it up on you. You cannot continue to give Mississippi State if your offense has to be on schedule this game. You can continue to give Mississippi State opportunities to score because they are a high-powered offense. So I think Mississippi State is going to beat them, and I think they're going to beat them bad.
Yeah, this is not the same Kentucky team that we saw against Florida. They're banged up. That secondary has been exposed, and they just don't have the weapons to match Mississippi State point for point. To beat this Mississippi State team, you got to be able to put points on the board. You got to be able to do one of the two things. You got to be able to jump on them early and often. You got to be able to put points on the board and match them point for point. And I just don't think that Kentucky is going to be able to do it. As great as they are on defense, that Mississippi State offense, listen, that's a pro-style offense. Then they're eventually going to get theirs. And when they get theirs, you got to be able to put up points and get yours. And I just don't believe that Kentucky has the horses to match Mississippi State when it comes to scoring. Salute to you, woke is the new sleep. Says you already know, but bro, OIOs is one of the weakest Power 5 conferences. Okay, that's somebody. They battling. They're going back and forth with a Big Ten fan. All right, this one right here, Arkansas's BYU. They haven't met up in years. I think you have to go back to the early 90s, the last time they matched up against one another. Listen, Sam Pittman, this is another game. The program needs this. Now they're out of the running for the SEC West crown, and it's kind of a disappointing season. But they've been hit with injuries, and they've been hit with injuries bad. I think coming into the year, I think that defense was overhyped a lot. The media, the SEC Nation, they overhyped Arkansas's defense, and I do believe Sam Pittman needs to recruit. You got some hitters on that defense right now. You got some good tacklers, but what you're lacking is speed. And Sam Pittman, you came from UGA, and you know what I mean by speed. You need to get some speed on that defense. Because if you don't have speed on that defense, you're not going to be able to compete with the LSUs, the Auburns, the Ole Misses. You're going to have a hard time in that West. You may be able to walk down a couple of teams in the East, but you're going to have problems in that West if your linebackers do not have speed, and his linebackers, they're lacking speed. They are great hitters. They'll if they get a hold to your quarterback, they'll light them up. They'll light the running back up. But listen, when they run against a team that has like power and speed, that poses a problem. And I think that's what's going to happen tonight in Provo, Utah. BYU is going to be a huge matchup problem for them in the trenches.
Yeah. Offensively, I think that Arkansas can score on anybody and score with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas's major problem is they get manhandled on the defensive line. The linebackers are actually the brightest spot on the team.
Mm-hmm. But they're slow. Mm-hmm.
But they get manhandled on the D-line, then their secondary is atrocious. I'm talking about, look, dude, you could sit back and literally just pick their secondary apart. I don't know if it's the scheme. I don't know if it's the athletes. But Arkansas's back half, they're terrible. It's like they're not even out there playing.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, I wouldn't be like, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if BYU beats Arkansas. I know this, if the game is going to turn into a shootout.
Yeah, it could very well turn into a shootout. I think it's going to come down to the trenches once again. It's going to come down to a play that needs to be made in that secondary, and I just don't have the confidence in that Arkansas secondary that I have in BYU secondary to make the play. I think BYU makes a huge statement tonight, and they show the world that they are ready for the Big 12. All right.
Yeah, Arkansas is not. It was a big hype for Arkansas coming in this year, after last year. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I know the kids are disappointed, and so is a whole lot of people else disappointed in them.
Mm-hmm.
But we got to look at the big elephant in the room. The defense. Okay.
Defense was kind of overhyped, though. That's what I'm speaking on. Arkansas's defense is not who we thought they were.
Mm-mm. And then, like you said, that's secondary. You giving them over 300 some yards passing.
Mm-hmm.
And think about it, BYU don't pass that often. They got a balanced offense.
Oh, okay.
What do you think BYU gonna do with it?
Okay.
What do you think BYU gonna do?
Go ahead, because I wanted to go ahead and get your pick because we on time.
Yeah, I'm going BYU. I'm going BYU.
Okay.
I'm going BYU.
Okay, BYU. All right. Okay. USC Utah. Okay, USC Utah. Listen, I circled this one. I circled this one also. Labor Day weekend when we did the kickoff show. And listen, I circled this one. I said, listen, USC, today we are going to find out, are they for real? Now, UCLA, they handled their business. UCLA handled business last Saturday. The problem is, this is an elimination game for Utah in the Pac-12. They're all, in my opinion, Utah is eliminated from any talks of the playoff because of that earlier loss to Florida and the loss last week to UCLA. Now, this USC is going to walk into a hostile territory. Okay, they've had problems in the past against Utah, on the road to Utah, but this is a different USC team. They're on the mission. Lincoln Riley. Listen, I'm surprised because I really didn't think they could do it in year one, or that he could do it in year one. But look, this is the same Lincoln Riley that did it in year one with Oklahoma. He took them to the playoffs and probably should have won. Should have gotten in that, because I think if they would have gotten past Georgia in the Rose Bowl, they would have handled Bama or Clemson in the championship game. and Lincoln Riley would have had his national title and ring, but it didn't go that way. I'm gonna let you all pick. I know you all are chomping at the bits to pick this one. I'm gonna go behind you guys and pick this one, but go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm looking at this game. USC. I'm going with USC winning this game because next week UCLA and Oregon plays, and they both undefeated in their division.
Mm-hmm.
And then if UCLA beat Oregon, that last game of the year, USC and UCLA, hey, it's gonna be all who go to the Pac-12 championship game. So I gotta go USC.
Mm-hmm.
The Battle LA coming up. I'm going with USC.
In the past, I would have given this more attention as far as upset alert. But USC is up under a new coaching regime. At first I was like, I don't know, USC has problems with Utah, but Utah ain't playing as well as they did last year defensively. I don't think they have enough to stop what USC is doing on offense. So in this game, I'm gonna go USC.
All right. I'm definitely gonna have to roll with USC. I think USC is the more talented team, the better coached team. Listen, Lincoln Riley, if your formula can work at Oklahoma, I definitely think it could work out there in Southern California. Utah is not as good as they were hyped up to be coming into the year. I'm adding that element to it also as well. USC is a lot better than we thought. They were a lot better than that. I knew that they would be in the national championship hunt in the coming years, but I did not see it coming in year one. Listen, it's not easy to go to a program and have a team ranked inside the top 10 on year one. Not even the greats of the great. Paul Bear Bryant couldn't do it at Bama. When he did year one, he didn't do it there. Nick Saban didn't do it. Nick Saban struggled. He lost about 4 or 5 games his first year. Kirby lost 5 games his first year at Georgia. Dabo didn't do well his first couple of years at Clemson. But listen, for Lincoln Riley, we got to start looking at him totally different. If he pulls this off again at USC, and at least he doesn't even have to win the national title. Just get him to the playoffs. If he pulls this off again, we got to start looking at this guy totally different and saying maybe this man is one of the greats. Like as far as like up and coming young great head coaches, because Nick Saban, he's on his way out the door. He's in his mid-70s. But you got to look at this guy right here. And me personally, I think he's NFL ready, but I don't see him going in the NFL. I think he enjoys college football, the college football life, and the power of running your own program. I'm rolling with USC in this one. I think, like I said, I have a feeling about USC this year. There's just something about this team. But I am a little concerned about UCLA because UCLA in the trenches, UCLA is going to be a problem in the trenches. But I think USC will go in there and handle business. I think the first half would be very, very competitive. It could be even tie or scoreless. But in the second half, I think USC is going to come out and take care of business, and USC is going to win this game.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Now let's go to the next game here. We had a ton of matchups, but I just wanted to put the marquee matchups on here. Now this is the main event right here. This is it. Listen, we pointed at this game, and we said that they both could be potentially undefeated coming into this game. Jason, you predicted that both would be undefeated on October the 15th, and you were absolutely correct. So I'm going to let you go first and pick in this one. picking this one because I've been going back and forth on this one. I've come to the conclusion. I came to the conclusion last night when I looked at a few stats, but I'm going to let you go first because you went out there, you jumped out the window and you made a huge bold prediction back on Labor Day weekend. You said, hey, by the time these two teams play, they both will be undefeated. So I'm going to let you go first, Jason.
Well, I will point out that Tennessee is a matchup nightmare for Alabama in this particular game. They're a matchup nightmare. The way they spread the ball, Tennessee is playing better. They look more crisp in the approach, in their game plan, et cetera, et cetera. With that being said, not so fast. Because there's one thing about these elephants. When they get in big games, in the level of the magnitude is as high as it is in this game, these guys perform. I don't know where they come from. I don't know where these super dudes come out of the woodworks from. But there's certain teams. When Alabama play Tennessee in Georgia, you are going to get their best game. They just made the announcement that Bryce Young will be playing in this game. I do believe early on that it will be a good game, but I think that Alabama defensively is going to be more creative in shutting Tennessee down than Tennessee would Alabama. I'm still not solid and sold on Tennessee's defense. We know what Alabama defense can do. Yeah, they ain't the greatest, but they can shut you down when they need to. With that being said, I'm gonna be honest with you. Then Alabama has the greatest coach in football history. I'm going Alabama.
All righty. Okay. All righty. Jerry Spears is picking Tennessee. Gabe is also picking Tennessee. All right, D-True. Let's see where you go with this one.
Well, Bryce Young is back. The question is will Tennessee test him out to see he's really healthy? Is he really 100%? That is the question. And then Tennessee got two players out. This is the biggest game. I put this one in Tennessee biggest game they got to play. And I'm still not really sold on Alabama offense. Like I said, I keep hopping on this on Alabama defense. If Tennessee can run at Will Anderson instead of making run away from him, Tennessee will win the game. I got to go with Tennessee. I think they're going to run at Will Anderson. If Tennessee coaches saw game for last year, people run at Will Anderson, he's not that good when people running at him. Hey, it's going to be all that. But how healthy is Bryce Young? That is going to be the question. Everybody forget about that. Because the quarterback comes back don't mean jack. Put him in that position where he got to use his injuries that he came back from.
It was his non-throwing shoulder.
But still, hey, put it away. It's still gonna hurt. It's still gonna hurt. So, guess what? He gonna have to run. What's gonna happen to get hit on it?
How many years you been making this pick and you've been wrong? I mean, we ain't right now.
Look, hold on, Jason. Hold on, Jason. Jason. Hey, Jaco, I didn't say that when you made your pick, did I?
No, I'm about to tell you something. I'm about to tell you something.
No, but the thing is, look, I'm saying this. What would happen? Look here. He got put out the game because that throwing shoulder, right? Yes. What if he get hit on that shoulder again? And guess what? I'm just making my prediction. I'm going with Tennessee. Because I want to see how good he is without that. He got to run. He got to run. He get hit on that. He get hit. Hey, he get hit on that shoulder. And you can't move. Got to move your arms to run.
I'm not going against your pick. Your pick is a valid pick. What I'm gonna tell you is, if Florida is playing against Clark Atlanta, I'm gonna pick Clark Atlanta. Okay, that's just. But I know full well. Look, I know full damn well that Clark Atlanta ain't gonna beat no Florida. Okay, so I'm gonna give you that. Okay, yeah, Florida. Okay, so when let's say if that ever happened, right? Let's say I was an Auburn fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say everything. I'm gonna give you everything that could happen in the game, right? And I'm even gonna say I know that Auburn is gonna win, right? Because I'm a fan. Well, I know that Alabama's gonna win, but basically, I'm not gonna pick Alabama because I'm an Auburn fan. That's just bottom line. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going on.
I'm not doing that. I'm picking it from my point of view. This is a big game for Tennessee. They need a big game for a win, and they on the threshold of making it into the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So, what you make that Tennessee gonna come out there and play their ass off, and Alabama stick up the joint? We don't see it before.
Anything is possible.
We've seen it before.
But on this day,
we both know Alabama struggles sometimes too.
On this day, Smokey gonna get smoked.
What? I hate to be very bad news. Tennessee gonna roll over Alabama, and they're telling people gonna get put back up on the shelf.
Okay. All right. Okay, fellas. Okay, fellas. Let me get in here. Let me get in here and make my prediction. Okay. All right. Now I've been going back and forth on this all week. Okay. I think Bryce Young, the decision to let him play is more. I think he'll be more used as a decoy today. Okay. Let's be honest here. The Bama wide receivers have not, lived up to the hype this year. So far, they have not lived up to the hype this year. So therefore, if you're paying attention to how Bama has been winning their games this year, they've relied on the ground game. They've been beating teams on the ground. They did what they had to do against Texas, mainly because of their ground game. They did what they had to do against Arkansas, mainly because of their ground game. Their ground game is what helped them beat Texas A&M. All right. And a little bit of luck. All right. Listen, Tennessee has not, let's be honest now. Tennessee has not seen a defense like this. The only defense that comes anywhere near close to what they're going to see this afternoon is Pitt. And it took, 2 overtimes to beat Pitt. And also, you got to go back to the Pitt game, all right, which was their most competitive game leading up until today. Pitt's ground game gave that Tennessee defensive front a hard time. So if they had a hard time stopping Pitt's ground game, what do you think is going to happen? Jabari Gibbs, in my opinion, has emerged as the best running back in the SEC right now, today, on the 15th of October. Jabari Gibbs is the best running back in the SEC. That Alabama offensive line is ranked right up there with Georgia as far as like great offensive lines that can move. And if you look at Tennessee's defensive line, I had a video that I want to show you guys, but everyone that's in the chat and my 2 brothers up here on the panel with me, you can go take a look and pay attention to this afternoon. Tennessee's D-line is small. All right. They remind me a lot of our D-line back in 2014 and 2015. They were fast. They were great hitters or whatever. But when we ran up against teams with the big old offensive line, big offensive linemen that weighed like 300 plus, we had problems. Me personally, if I was a head football coach in college football today, in today's college football world, I would not recruit undersized defensive linemen. I just wouldn't. I would recruit big behemoth defensive linemen and maybe like small, fast linebackers that could shoot gaps and get to the quarterback. And that's the problem that Tennessee defense. Listen, one lineman on Tennessee's defensive line might weigh over 300, give or take. But a lot of the programs be lying. You know how many times you looked in the program, you seen a guy is 6 foot, weighing 200 some pounds, and you look at him in real life, he's only like 5'10", and he's undersized. So I just listen. I think it's going to be competitive in the first half, but I think that Bama O-line in the second half, they're going to lean on them. They're going to ground and pound. They're going to go to that ground game, and I think Bama's going to beat them on the ground. I think Bama will get them by a touchdown and a field goal. I'm going to say about 10 points. Yes, it's going to be in Neyland Stadium. Yes, it's going to be 100,000 plus. But listen, this is a well-coached Nick Saban team. If any team can go into Neyland and handle that pressure, it is a Nick Saban coach team. All right. And one thing we all know, I know, as an Auburn fan, your Auburn Tigers done it. They went into Neyland Stadium. And Jason, this also. You go into Neyland Stadium and you quiet that crowd quickly. That's the key. That crowd gets quiet. 115,000 fans. You can have that place sounding like a high school stadium if you jump on them early. And what Bama is going to do, they're going to put Tennessee in a phone booth. They're going to put them in a phone booth and make them play old school SEC football. That hot shot crap is not going to work today because Bama's secondary is improving as the week goes by. They're improving week after week after week. And therefore, listen, Tennessee has a great team, but attrition and depth is going to render his ugly head in that second half. And the advantage is going to go to Bama. I'm picking Bama by a touchdown or more in this one. I'm looking at something maybe like 31-21, Bama.
Yep. Because you can't, what Bama did last week, because I look at it with my team. My team struggled against Missouri. Then they come out and put up 42 points on Auburn. It's all about matchup. Some teams provide matchup nightmares for others.
Mm-hmm.
So both teams being undefeated don't negate the matchup.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, it's a rivalry. It's an extra added elevation.
Mm-hmm.
So make no mistake about it. Them Alabama boys want a piece of us, and they doing anything in their power to get back there.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not sure that they're going to get back there because I don't think this will be the hiccup today. I listen. If I'm a Bama fan, I'm a little bit more nervous about Ole Miss because Ole Miss has the depth. Unlike Tennessee, they have the depth. They have the firepower in the trenches on both sides of the ball. If this was Ole Miss and Bama had to go into the Grove and play Ole Miss today with a banged up Bryce Young, there's no doubt in my mind I would be picking Ole Miss. But Tennessee, even though the game is in Neyland, I just don't think they have the horses in the trenches to match up with Bama in that Bama running game. That Bama running game, that Bama running game hasn't looked this good since, in my opinion, since you got to go back to the Derrick Henry days. The last time Bama's run game looked this good.
Yeah. Michigan up 3-0.
Yes, sir. Michigan is up 3-0. And let me take a look at the Auburn Ole Miss game. Speaking of Auburn and Ole Miss now, Auburn has a defense. Like I said, this goes back to what I said. Auburn is 3-3. All right. So no, we cannot poo-poo on what Penn State did when they went into Jordan-Hare. We can't poo-poo on them. They are hanging with Ole Miss. Normally, Ole Miss would have done hung about 10 points on their opponent by now. Right now, it is scoreless with 9:31 left in the first quarter. Like I said, and they're in the Grove. They're in the Grove. They're not in Jordan-Hare. They're in the Grove. So so Dietrich, we can't poo-poo what Penn State did in
But I
Jordan-Hare.
I can because I'm like, I look at it right here. I ain't looking at what they did against Auburn. I'm looking at what Penn State did the next two games after that. You see what I'm saying? Who they played after that. That's why I went with Michigan. And plus, Penn State has proved they can win a big one when they need to win a big one.
Well, we're going to find out today. I think both of them. Michigan proved themselves in their Ohio State game last year. But a lot of people are saying, look, what if the ice wasn't on the ground? What if it was a normal Saturday like it is outside right now? What if it was a dry sunny day with no ice on the ground? How would have turned out? Would have been a different story if the traction would have been a little better for those Ohio State receivers. So
but hold on. Ain't Ohio State in the North?
Yeah, they are in the North.
Hold on. See, one, I'm not going to get that excuse when you got equipment managers. You know what it's going to be like. You got to have better cleats. So you can't make that excuse.
No, I'm not making it. No, I'm not making an excuse. I'm saying it's a proven fact in football, even in the NFL and high school. All right. If you have a more of a offensive, like an air raid type of offense, a more finesse type of offense, it caters more to the team if the traction is better. If you are, okay, let me give you an example. When LaDainian Tomlinson and the San Diego Chargers, when they were on top of their game and they were dropping averaging like 30 and 40 points on their opponents, all right? And then playoff time come around and January rolls around. New England would normally get home field advantage. And then San Diego had to go into Foxborough in that ice and cold and wind and play against New England. I don't give a damn what kind of cleats you have on. If your offense is more of an air raid type and it is, pass heavy, that can pose a problem. The elements can pose a problem for a team.
But you can't say, when you say traction, that means footing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, footing and also the wind was blowing.
You just went with Penn State because they kicked Auburn ass.
Listen, when you say traction, when we played wet and rain, he slipped and fall. Ain't it the equipment manager or the player manager's job to go change the cleats?
Okay, but you didn't let me finish. Right? You didn't let me finish. Also, the wind was blowing. Man, the wind was blowing that day. It was like, remember now, I think they had some blizzard storm that came through that Wednesday, and it carried on. They were like in the tail end of it that Saturday around kickoff, and you still had winds like 30 and 40 miles per hour. The wind can make the ball shift and bounce funny.
Weather plays a factor to predominantly passing teams.
Yes, sir.
But the thing about it is predominantly passing teams, but ain't the offensive coordinator, don't they supposed to have a thick playbook and you supposed to work on all your plays?
Well, the thing about it is,
so we take away Michigan beat Penn State, beat Ohio State, cause of the traction in the weather. So
it was a great accomplishment for a Big Ten team coming to Jordan-Hare in the South
No,
beating.
we
SEC
say
school.
because I made my opinion on the fact Penn
Yeah,
State they won a big game.
we just don't want to
Not
diminish the fact.
not that.
Yeah, we just don't want to
Say
diminish
no.
the fact.
We talking about Penn State
Well,
and Michigan, right?
So
Just
We talking about Penn State and
let me
Michigan,
ask
right?
you, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a
When
question.
have
So
Penn State won a big game? When have Penn State won a big
hold up.
game?
I
In the last
think
5 years.
hold up. When they listen. I don't know why you're downplaying your school, but Auburn is a blue blood. All right. Auburn is our oldest rival. Auburn has kept us from winning many national titles. Okay. Auburn has kept Bama from winning. I mean, Auburn is the only school. Auburn has more wins against Nick Saban since Nick Saban has been at Bama. No other school has beaten Bama more than Auburn has since Nick Saban has been at Bama. And that is a fact, brother. That is a fact.
What? I'm not even looking at that game. I'm looking at Penn State team itself.
What I'm saying
I don't care who they play. When have they won a big game?
They did it in Jordan Hare. That was a big game. Listen.
I'm talking about when. I'm talking about in their conference. I'm talking about in their conference.
Listen, a game is a game, bro. A game is a game, bro. They got to play games on their schedule. Listen.
They lost to Michigan last year, right?
We ain't talking about last year. We're talking about this year. Hold on.
Did Penn State lose a big game last year?
They are different team.
They kept them out of it.
They are a different team this year.
So in Michigan. Michigan.
Just like Syracuse, Michigan has kind of took a step back. They don't have those two goddamn defensive ends that they had last year. They are different on defense. They're not as good on defense as they were last year. They don't have Hutchinson and they don't have David Ajabo.
But they still got the coach. And the coach makes a difference.
Hell, they had the coach in 2020. They had the same coach in 2019. What happened?
Don't James Franklin still coach Penn State?
I understand that, but
then. That's my point exactly.
Hold on. Hold on. Let me make my point. Let me finish making my point. All right. Let me finish making my point. This Auburn team is 3-3. We don't know what. Listen, they were at this point, at the same point in 2019. And what happened at the end of 2019? They spoiled Bama's season and eliminated them from the damn playoffs. They were sitting at 3-3 the second weekend in October, the same way that they were sitting, that they're sitting right now. They were sitting on the second weekend of October in 2019. They were sitting at 3-3. They're sitting at 3-3 today. We don't know what's going to happen in this game down in the Grove. They could go on and upset Ole Miss. Ole Miss is ranked inside the top 10. Auburn could go on and upset Texas A&M. They could go on and upset Mississippi State. They could go on and beat Arkansas. Hell, they've owned Arkansas the last couple of years. We don't know what this Auburn team is going to do. And that's why I keep saying, it's a reason why I keep saying, leave Brian Harsin alone, Auburn fans. Let this man finish out his job because the season is early. You're still 3-3. Who's to say you run the table and finish 9-3? You can finish 9-3. This is a crazy year now. You can finish 9-3 and in second place in the West. We don't know. That's why I am still calling that win in Jordan Hare. And the way they did it wasn't a field goal win this year. It was a beatdown. That was a big win for Penn State. I'm not going to poo-poo, and I'm not going to take that away from those kids. That was a huge to go down in the SEC territory and do what they did.
I'm not taking that away from. I'm not taking that away from them. I'm just saying what had they done with. I'm not saying they're not a big game. Yeah, but it ain't no bigger game than they playing today.
No, hell no, of course not. You got the number 5. You got the number 5 ranked team and the defending Big Ten champion. You got to go on the road to the big house and a team that was in the playoffs last year. Of course, this is the biggest game of James Franklin coaching career at Penn State, in my opinion.
It's doing that for him right now. It's doing that. Cause that top of that division right now, it is tight.
Well,
it is tight.
I want to pick it back off of what you said to leave Brian Harsin alone. You need to leave him alone for the simple fact that he is rebuilding a program.
Thank you.
Gus Malzahn came in. Gus Malzahn had to rebuild the program. You jumped the gun and fired Gus. So now you need to allow your next coach to rebuild your program. It's a totally different scheme, totally different system that he's implementing. Leave him alone and see where it goes.
Yeah, like I said, like we always said, the boosters gotta stay their ass out of the locker room.
Yeah,
sometimes. But like I said, Penn State gonna be. They win this game, boy. Jay Frank gonna get about a 5-year contract extension.
Well, they're on the ropes right now because Michigan has the ball, 2nd and goal on Penn State goal line. Like I said, Michigan is no joke. I went out. They're tough on the goal line. They are tough on. So it's 3rd and goal now. It's 3rd and goal. Michigan is going to have to get the ball in the end zone. They can't kick field goals all day because that Penn State offense is going to eventually wake up.
Your field goals don't help you, especially if the other team scored a touchdown. But
salute to you, Big Trays. Salute to you, brother. Salute to you. All right, so we're going to break for a quick commercial break here. Then we're going to come back with our final thoughts.
Wayfield Foods, offering the freshest fruits and vegetables and a wide variety of fresh cut meats. Fresh foods cooked daily. Wayfield Foods. Great quality at an affordable price.
Atlanta, it's back for a limited time. This Is It Barbecue and Seafood has brought back its 2 for $25 package. That's 2 dinners, 2 large drinks, and 2 desserts for $25. Choose from delicious entrees like rib tips, barbecue chicken, tilapia, barbecue ribs, and many more. And for dessert, banana pudding or strawberry shortcake. Dine in or carry out for just $25.
Atlanta, franchises now available. It's the Rib Tips.
Goddamn.
Salute to Miss Scorpio, ladies. Salute. Better late than never. All right, want to get everybody's final thoughts. Brother. I'm gonna start with you, Jason, because I know you got some meat on the grill, bro. You got to get on back to it.
You know what my final thoughts is. Go Dogs.
Are you nervous about today? Are you nervous about Vanderbilt?
Put the ass we spanking shit. I'm not nervous. Look, they did what I wanted them to do. Run the football. We are a running team. Stick to the basics.
All right. Ole Miss just scored. They threw a bomb in the end zone to the Ole Miss receiver. Ole Miss is up now 7-0. It's early. Like I said, it's early.
Yeah.
Auburn.
Yeah. The thing is, it was a tip interception and gave Ole Miss the short field. And you know how when you get a short field, and they took advantage of that, what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, Auburn is a young team. Salute to you, Papa Will. Auburn is a young team. Like I said, the boosters, the fans need to calm down. All this talk about prime time, I really think it did something to the chemistry. Going into that Penn State game, all that prime time talk, I think it kind of got in those kids' heads. It messed up the chemistry, the locker room chemistry. I think Auburn is going to be fine. This is a young team. Let them gel. I think they're going to be a problem next year. They are going to be a problem next year because all of these kids will be sophomores and juniors next year. So I would run it back.
I'm excited about the quarterback, though. I'm excited about Robert Ashford getting any playing time. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, listen. I've seen great court. Listen, Deshaun Watson's first year, he threw tip interceptions and made a couple of fumbles, and he was trying to do too much. I mean, we all got to go back to 2014, the season opener when Clemson and Georgia played, and Deshaun Watson came in there and he just looked lost. He looked like a deer in headlights. Fast forward to his junior and senior year, the kid was up for the Heisman. He was leading Clemson to a national title. listen, this Auburn team is going to be a problem next year. If they can just hold on to everyone, make sure no one hits the transfer portal, make sure Tank comes back. They're going to get a couple of some good. If you can't get the 5-star wide receivers, get some 4-star wide receivers. I think Brian Harsin needs to do what Gus did and spend a little bit more time in the Atlanta area recruiting. Do a little bit more recruiting in the Atlanta area. I think Auburn is going to be okay, but we'll see. Fans, it's right. It's 2022. Is in this day and time, with the salaries going up for these coaches. Look, it's all about what have you done for me lately. It's the rule.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Janet Jackson rule. What have you done for me lately?
I think Kansas Oklahoma tied at 14-14 right now.
Yeah. So like I said, Kansas is young. I think Kansas is going to be around. I like the direction their head coach is taking them, but Brent Venables is on the hot seat today. If he loses this game, listen, you're going to start hearing some noise out of Norman, Oklahoma.
Ooh,
out of Norman, Oklahoma. My final thoughts is, listen, I think as intriguing as the Bama-Tennessee game is going to be, I think Bama's going to pull away like the early fourth quarter and put this game away kind of soundly, 10 points or maybe even 14 points. I think the two most competitive games today, the three most competitive games of today is going to be one that's already on, Penn State and Michigan, Syracuse and NC State. I'm definitely looking forward to that one. And USC and Utah. Listen, I know. listen. I haven't watched a Pac-12 game in its entirety all the way through from kickoff to finish, but I will be watching this one. And that Utah USC game is going to be Utah's it's an elimination game. If they lose, it's going to be a slow walking, sad singing for them. USC, listen. This is exciting. Today is exciting. I'm even excited about. It's a couple of other games, honorable mention games: Clemson, Florida State, and LSU in Florida. You never know what could happen in that game between LSU and Florida. Both teams are kind of like they're having challenging seasons. I don't know which way I'm going to go with this one. It's in the swamp. So if I had to give the edge to anyone, it would have to be Florida. The fact that it's in the swamp and it is hard. I mean, absolutely hard to go down in the swamp and beat those guys. But this Ole Miss Auburn game is early, and Auburn has a type of offense that can strike quick and come back. But Ole Miss, they're playing on a whole nother level. I think this is going to be the problem for Bama, no matter what happens today. I think Ole Miss is going to be the huge problem for Bama because with Lane Kiffin, it's going to be personal. It's going to be personal. It's just something about those assistants. It's something about those assistant coaches, man. Listen, they out to get you. They're out to get you.
Yeah, and like you said, Auburn got a young team, and we just have to see what's what. And like I said, it's a lot of talk that go on in every sports about a coach, especially in college.
Mm-hmm.
And kids start, even if the team good, they start reading their own press clip that do you in. But when you talk about going to get another coach, and the coach coming in, they can't concentrate on what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be good. So I'm willing to say, but it's gonna be a good game. And like I said, the rest of the game gonna be good. It's doing that for everybody right now. Halfway at the halfway point.
Mm-hmm.
Over halfway point tonight, it's gonna be a good one. Like you said, I ain't seen no. I had to watch that. I'm gonna watch that USC and Utah game. It's gonna be a good one tonight.
Yes, it is. And we're gonna kick the the post game show off a little earlier tonight, probably somewhere between 8 and 9. When to kick it off a little earlier, we'll just give updates of the games as we go along while we're on the post game show, because the today is top heavy. Today is top heavy. The major games are going to be played in the early afternoons, and I love the way they're setting it up, because now the 12 o'clock. Remember, this would be a time you would get the garbage games on at 12 o'clock, and you have to sit around and wait. You would have to sit around and wait. I love the way Fox Sports is doing it, and they're putting these big matchups on at 12 noon. Because I remember growing up as a kid, the biggest games used to come on at 12 noon. I remember watching Ohio State, Iowa. They would come on, and then in the afternoon you would have Bama and Tennessee, or Auburn and LSU. You know, it was like almost like a WrestleMania card, and that's what it feels like today. It feels like a WrestleMania card.
Yeah, I got a question for you. On the TJ Finley is on the sideline warming up, and he might come into the next series. Got a young guy like Robert Ashford. What that do for your confidence? Do you leave him out there, let him go through his woes, or you change him out?
I would leave him out there, sink or swim. You have 3 losses. You're not actually trying to compete for an SEC title. You know, your season's pretty much over with. Even though you're 3-3, you want this kid to get playing time experience. You know, if he's hurt, I would bring him out. Maybe it's something going on that we don't know about. That's the only thing I could think of. You don't want to be yanking your young quarterback out like that. You want to let him stay in there and develop some confidence. Like I said, 7-0. I mean, I would not panic and make a quarterback exchange. And it's not defense.
It's a 4-quarter
I would make some changes on that secondary.
That's what I was looking at. That's what I was looking at.
Number 8. I don't know who he is for you guys, but I think I'd go ahead and I think he would have to have a seat.
Yeah,
that's the 2nd touchdown pass he's given up.
Yeah, and on to some baseball news. The two lead teams in the National League is down 2 games to 1 coming in today.
Baseball is all about who gets hot.
Yeah,
and the reason why I say that, because the way they have the series, the wild card series, best 2 out of 3. The hot team can go in there and win a series like that. I think whoever the commissioner, I was about to say Bowie Coon, man, that dude has been gone for years. Rest in peace. He was a great commissioner. I think they're gonna have to do what the NBA did. If you want to find out if you want the best team to win, and me and Asatar was discussing this yesterday. If you want the best team to win, you got to make that wild card series a 7-game series, make the divisional round a 7-game series.
7-game series.
Yeah, or make it a field of 8. You know what I'm saying? Have like the number 1 seed going against the number 8 seed or something like that, or the number 1 seed. I think what baseball is probably going to have to end up doing is expanding the playoffs like the NBA did. Have 8 teams qualifying for the playoffs. Let the number 1 seed go against the number 8 seed, and you have a 7-game series. That's because let me tell you something. It's hard to get lucky and beat a team 4 times in 7 games. You know, that's hard to do. But any team can get lucky and win 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 5. I mean, the Braves are clearly a much better team than the Phillies. The Braves won 101 games. Phillies only won with 87. No one can convince me that the Phillies are the better team than the Braves, but the way the playoff is structured, the way the playoff is designed, is all about the hottest team, the team that gets hot in late October or mid-September or late September does have a huge advantage going into October.
Yeah, and I look at it, the National League Championship Series. Let's say it'd be San Diego, Philadelphia. That's not a glorious matchup. You see what I'm saying?
Who, the Padres and the Phillies.
Yeah, they think about the Braves and the Dodgers. Back to the
Yeah,
NLCS. That's more likely.
yeah, that's some money because you have that Atlanta market, the South market. The Braves is like America's team. They're the America's team of the South. The Yankees are the America's team of the North, and the Dodgers are America's team of the West. And you're talking about ratings going through the roof if you have a Dodgers Brave matchup
And that'd
rematch.
be for the rematch for last year.
Yeah, it'll be a trilogy. It'll be a trilogy because they met up in 2020, they made up in 2021, and this would be the rubber match in 2022. But if you have a Padres Phillies, I don't know how that would go. Now, Philly is a huge market there, but that's a football city. That's a football and a basketball city. They're not really that high on baseball like Atlanta, like down here. This is Braves country. Although we love our Falcons, but the
The Braves have
Braves,
brought some championships.
yeah. The Braves are kings down here, and it is what it is. But we'll see. I mean, the Padres we saw them coming. They were coming last year. And the Phillies they finished the year stronger. They finished hot. So they've had the Braves number the last 2 or 3 weeks. So it's not a surprise to me. Win or lose, today I'm proud of the Braves. I'm proud for them to come from behind the way they did and win the division. I'm proud of them, win or lose.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Huge day in sports today. Great matchups in college football. Yes, I'll be keeping my eye on the NLDS to see what's going on with my Braves. But win or lose, I'm proud of them. But other than that, my eyes are going to be glued to what's going on up in Knoxville, Tennessee this afternoon.
3:30.
Yes, sir. And Ole Miss is leading 14-0. Let me go back over here to Michigan, Texas, and Iowa State. Iowa State is leading Texas 7-0. Those Texas fans are kind of like Auburn fans. They get antsy and they get impatient. Michigan has the ball again. They're at midfield. They're leading 6-0. Penn State, and this tells me that Penn State's offense is having a hard time moving the ball. Yeah, they're struggling against that Michigan defensive front. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. It's early. And on that note, I want to thank all of you for joining us here on the First and 10 Kickoff Show. I think this is going to be our regular time, 11 o'clock, and we'll take it on in to like the first 30, 40 minutes of the 12 o'clock hour. I think this is pretty much a better time slot. It gives people time to wake up. A lot of us, stay up late on Friday nights. You get up at 11 and enjoy the kickoff show. We will be back here a little earlier on the post-game show and to discuss these epic matchups on today. For Jason Big Dog Troutman, D Truth, D Love, and I am Armando Black. Thank you all for joining us here on the First and 10 Kickoff Show. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Take care of yourselves and each other, and enjoy your college football Saturday. Love you all.